Warning, this show contains explicit material, so viewer and listener discretion is advised. Welcome to another edition of Up and In It. I'm your host, Adrian Babashoff, and if you're new here, welcome as well. And if you're wondering what the show is about, it's entirely dedicated to improving quality of life for both people and planet through liberation and independence, moving you from surviving to thriving and living life raw. Today I want to talk about motivation. I think a lot of us need it in this crazy day. This is the second week of February, and it's almost my daughter's birthday. I'm so excited. I want to talk about motivation. We talk a lot about lifestyle design, how to live a better life, whether times are good, times are bad. And I think that motivation is what we need to get to that point. I think a lot of us could be hurting from this possible recession. I think we're in a recession. I think it's safe to say there's a lot of stores that have closed down, at least here in Sunnyside, California. But yeah, I want to start out with talking about if you need motivation for what you're doing, say to get out of the life you're in or the way you're making money, your health, everything. If you need motivation, you're not aiming yourself at the right shit. I think that most people need to explore themselves. They need their minds, their body, their souls. And it's very simple. There's what trips me out is these like Tony Robbins and like a lot of these motivational speakers, and you get all these people just flocking and spending thousands of dollars for someone to tell them what they like. I look at this and I think it's very simple. We don't need to spend thousands of dollars and have somebody else tell us. You just keep digging, you keep pushing yourself and exploring different things until you find something that really amps you up. I'd like to talk a little bit about motivation. Me, I live a fairly free life, right? I get to do whatever the hell I want. Today is Wednesday for me while I'm recording this show. And I decided to take like 2 weeks off work because I can. But I want to get my food growing. I'm about preparations, and just if it's not for preparations and things like that, it's just for the flavor. I just love it. But it's also, I want to do this for a living. I work construction, so I found out that I really, really like gardening about a decade ago. And it wasn't until the past few years where I really started hitting it super, super hard. And I figured, let's try to make a business out of it. But working so much, I'm doing this show, I'm running my garden business, I'm building the garden. There's just so much to do that it's wearing me out. And I start losing motivation. But when I look at times like this, like right now, where I'm able to take 2 weeks off just because I want to, I have the power, the control. That keeps me really, really going and excited to push on even further. So sometimes it's not so easy. Sometimes we forget, I think, about what it is that we're doing, what we're aiming at, and then we lose sight and we get tired and cranky, kind of like I am, until you kind of get that breath of fresh air. And that's what motivates me to stay free. The motivation of doing without a lot of other things. I drive this is my 96 F-350 pickup truck. That's the background noise. Sorry for that. That's on my commute because I've been so busy. But yeah, that's a motivation. My motivation to remain free, to be and gain more freedom every single day. I want to talk a little bit how simple living could actually help. So I'm able to live the lifestyle I am. I'm doing the things I am because, as I said, I sacrifice certain things. I designed my life that way, where I live very, very low overhead. I drive an old, like I said, 1996 pickup truck, but it's paid for. I don't have a house payment. I don't have car payments. I really don't have much debt at all. And I make enough money to stockpile up for emergency funds, and then beyond that, I've got money to last me, a good long time. Let's just say that. So, because of the simple living, I'm able to also think a little bit clearer, right? I'm able to, as this farm and invention thing that I did in trying to build a farming business, a gardening business online, I'm able to take time off work because of the simple lifestyle that I've designed for myself. So I really think, it's got a lot to do with backup money, and it's got a lot to do with my time. I'm able to just kind of sink and just go, you know what? This is my time. I'm going to choose to make this happen the way I want. And I said, it was all motivation, and it was a lot of work just to get here. Right when I wasn't doing the garden business and things like that, running 2-3 businesses at the same time, I was still, I was tired. It took a lot of work to get here, but the further and further I get, close. That's what I want for you guys. The further I put all this work and it starts to pay off, the better life becomes. So the question I think you have to ask yourself, which I think is going on with a lot of people, is that, are you competing with other people? Is that your motivation? You know what I mean? Like, are you looking to make money so that you look good for your friends? Because at the end of it, and I think this is why we have people who, like, say, win the lottery and come into like millions of dollars, and then they just end their lives just get crumbled. Because they were after a dream. They were trying to satisfy something else that wasn't in their heart, their mind, and their soul. And I think if you're competing with somebody else, or, you know, like with health, you're trying to look good just to be sexy so that other people view you as a very sexy person, a very fit person. How about, you know, metaphorically speaking here, symbolically speaking, how about being healthy for yourself because you feel good, because you can think a lot better? I know for a fact, no, I hate talking about absolutes, but when I get cardio, when I go for walks and stuff, you know, there's a lot of oxygen that goes through my bloodstream from my mouth because I'm doing, I'm exerting myself. And one thing I find is when I start moving around, I actually start functioning a lot better. And I don't do this necessarily. I'm old, you know, old and gray. Those of you guys watching the beard is weird, I know. I've got a big old, I'm going gray. You know, I'm turning into an old man, but I'm still fit. I still feel good. I'm a lot more fit than most of my friends. But I do this so that I can think better and I can feel better. And it just comes to the sign where I'm definitely not sexy, you know, but I feel a lot better and I'm not really worried about what other people think of me. And I say that a lot on this show is you got to stop fucking giving a shit what people think of you. I think it always ties in. I say it all the time because it ties into almost everything. The next on the note here is fall in love with the process. So it definitely sucks to be working as many hours as I am. But as I said, for motivation goes, if you kind of find something that you like, even that I would say, I love gardening, but god damn, first thing in the morning and busting my ass, I'd rather just take a day off, you know, sip some recreational ethanol and go to the beach and just, you know what, fuck it, man. You know, same thing with these shows. It takes a lot of work and time to do. I'm like, man, why don't I just go right back to roofing, you know, and construction, which I easily could. I could just disappear from everything and just start living a more simple life than I am right now. But I choose to do all these things, and I'm enjoying the process, really. Like these podcasts, I bitch and complain, you know, but I really, really like doing these shows. It's a good outlet for me. It keeps my brain going on, well, what are things that I want to do with my life? And then I get really excited and motivated, and I want to share that motivation, kind of like I hope I'm doing for you right now, to motivate you guys to do something. So yeah, fall in love with the process, man. Moving forward here is one of the things I want to share with you guys is how I use negativity for motivation. So I've said this before, because of my simple life, I live tiny in a AKA travel trailer in a mobile home park. And I've got super low overhead, but tiny living really comes with a price. I'm also next to a freeway. Do I choose to live this way for the rest of my life? No. I've simplified my life so that I can get off to wherever it is that I'm going. All I know is I need money. I need money to do that. And I don't know where I want to live right now, but it's definitely not next to a freeway and in this tiny space. That's why I have to actually podcast and do these shows in my truck, because I have no room, no privacy, no place that's quiet. So it's the only chance I get. And it's really hard. It's really rough, man. You know, I don't have a studio. But so I use that motivation, that negativity of the freeway when I get home, and then instead of just sitting there listening to the freeway, stuck inside of a small space and just doing nothing about it, it actually lights a candle under my ass to make me just keep going. And I keep looking, going, you know what? I want to get the fuck out of here. I want to change my life. I want land. I want openness. I want to live in nature, or I just want some more space. But I know I don't want to overexert myself like most people I see around me, where I go and buy a house, which I can easily do right now, and barely keep up with the payments. I want to be able to have cash in hand. I want to have a plan. So basically, what I do is I use that negativity, these things that bother me, to motivate me to get up early in the morning. I get up at like 3:30, 4 in the morning sometimes, you know, to get these shows, get my notes going, and prepare myself, research, I got to spend time. I'm a single father, so I need to make sure I'm there for both my kids, and then I'm feeding my kids healthy meals. I got a meal prep, and there's all kind of run my business. So I use all that to just go, you know what? We're going to stack functions, and we're going to work our asses off to get out of here instead of just sitting around taking my sweet time. So if the things that are bothering you, if you can make the switch-rooney inside your mind to go, you know what? I really hate this. I really don't like this. I despise this. I want you to really think and chew on it and get that fucking flavor in your mouth. And then tell yourself, what the fuck are you going to do about it? You know, if you're just going to sit there and get by, then just get by. But really take that negativity, that feeling you have, and explore it and say to yourself, you know what? I'm going to use this. Yeah, I'm going to work my ass off to save money or change my life, and I never want to get back to this again. I've never really been starving hungry, but I've experienced what it is to get down to almost nothing. You know, for me, that's probably very light. You know, nothing to me is not, you know, a couple $1,000s in the bank, you know, where you get scared. But I knew the feeling that I never ever wanted to experience that ever again, and I never want to go back to that. And I've made sure that I've always manipulated life. I formed it around it to bend to my needs and my wants. And and I use that negativity. I think the next note I have here is opposite polarities. And I think that to get motivated and to change your life, get money, whatever it is, I think that a lot of us have opposite polarities in this, meaning that there's a positive and there's a negative. You know, you desire resists. And I think a lot of us quietly in the subconscious mind actually don't want to do things. I'll tell you what, I've been trying to tell the universe and doing creative visualization and stuff to win the lottery. And I talk a lot about the inner dialogue of the subconscious mind. And some of the things that pops up when I listen to it, and this is myself talking to myself. I know that may sound crazy, but try it and see what happens. Myself is saying, well, my kids would never have to work again, so they wouldn't experience what it feels like to build something from the ground up. Life would just be too easy for them and then fuck up their lives. All my friends, you know, people would just want money. I'm like, I really don't have very many fucking friends. You could barely count them on one fucking hand, you know, true friends. And I looked at that and I'm like, where is that all coming from? So I have ways to deal with that and explore it. And as I said, chew on it and swallow it, digest it, and shit it out the other side and say, you know what, I don't really want this anymore. But I think on a lot of things, of explorations of things I've tried to do, for instance, I'll tell you guys, aquaponics is a way to grow your food with fish in a symbiotic relationship. I thought that I loved it. You know, I looked at it, I go, this is the answer to feed the world and everything. And then I find out, you know, after I started getting further into it, the sustainability, what for issues for me wasn't working. And the fact that it's made out of, you know, largely out of plastic. And I want to do good for my planet and for my children and myself. I don't want to eat toxins. So in my opinion, there was toxins and things like that. But I never would have known if I didn't have the money, the time, and the spirit to get out there and explore that shit. You know, and some people would say it was a failure. You lost, man. You lost out big. You spent a few years studying this. I spent lots of money to go to seminars and training to build large commercial aquaponics systems and get all in it. And was it worth it? Fuck yeah. Because I figured out what I didn't want. And now I know what I do want. So sometimes there's hidden polarities and things that I think can make the decisions for you, whether you're going to do something or not. So I think on the main thing here is in life, and the reason why most people need motivation is because we're sold on a dream, and that's all it is a dream. It's nothing more. It's the proverbial apple, as they say. Anybody ever heard about how they would get like a donkey or something or a horse to get him to move? They get like a fishing pole thing with an apple on the end of the rope and dangle it in front of its face, and the apple would the horse would keep trying to get the apple. And it keeps going for it and just can't get it, but it keeps running, so it starts pulling the cart. I see us as human beings like this. We all like to point the finger. I do too. It's them, it's the government, it's the corporations, it's all this stuff. They're just simply hanging the apple. And sometimes they give you a little treat. But we're all after this dream, and it's unattainable. It's unobtainium. And then we wonder why we're not motivated anymore, because we're fucking tired. We're all after this thing that's almost unattainable. And then sometimes when some of us get really smart and reach up and grab the fucking fishing pole, you know, rip it out of the fucking, the guy who's trying to steer us his hands, and we actually eat it, we come to find out we don't really, it was just something so simple. It was a fucking apple. And now we're done. Now what? Now what do we do? I conquered. Therefore what? I think this is the concept for most rich people, why a lot of them, not all, but the majority of them are so fucking sad, and their children are fucking, you know, on drugs and committing suicide. I mean, look into it, man. It's fucking, it's brutal. It's because they're after the proverbial apple. And once you get there, you find out that that's not what life was all about. And unfortunately, a lot of people will spend the majority of their lives chasing that apple to get suppressed, to get depressed, and to get down and go, well, fuck, I'm never going to get that apple. And where did all that time go that I spent my life where I didn't spend time with my children? I wasn't worried about my health. You know, I let myself go. I'm overweight, I'm unhealthy, I'm unhappy, I'm tired, I'm stressed out. Those are the type of things, guys, that I think we should take into consideration and have the motivation to get out of crap like this, to start looking for the right type of things where you don't need someone to tell you what you want or what you need. You'll know it in your know, as I said. It's very, very simple. Guys, I really think that with this recession and the, you know, I've done a lot of stuff on this show here. I know a lot of people are not motivated. I want to say that it's never too late. I'm in my mid 40s. I'm past my middle lifespan, I guess you would say. I don't fucking know, but you know what? Joy is very simple. It's there for you to grasp. Happiness is a choice to be happy, and motivation is there. You just need to find what you're looking for. And I want to motivate you guys to find that in yourself, to start preparing yourself in a lifestyle similar to, I hope that I'm helping you guys, right? To be able to get a nice food supply, a good money supply, save your money. If you're not in a good place right now, go under like I'm doing. Get that time, get that money to figure out what it is that you do want to do, and go out there and grab life by the horns, by the fucking balls, and fucking make that shit happen. All of us can do this, man. All of us. So that's the show. Guys, please, if you really like this, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. Give me a middle finger. I don't really give a fuck. Give me a review if you're listening on the podcast. I'm trying to get some momentum with this show. It's going very, very slow. Help me out if you really like this thing, if you want the show to keep going. And I really appreciate you guys being here. So with that, you guys can check out It's Up and In It. It's on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and anywhere where you could find, well, they'll let me post this crazy shit as far as the podcast. But as I always say, guys, go out there and have yourself a near life experience. Don't lose your muchness. Carry on the fire. Human up. Live it, love it, own it. And bone that, my friends.